All right, guys, what's going on? Welcome in. So Tony Pauline from Pro Football Network is reporting some pretty interesting stuff regarding the New York Jets. He states that sources tell him that the Jets have been in constant contact with Jermaine Johnson and have been doing an inordinate amount of research on the Florida State prospect. He's also reporting that based off of what he's heard, Johnson is going to be a top 8 pick. In other words, he could very well be the pick at spot number 4 for the Jets because obviously we only have one pick in the top 8. Our second pick is sitting there at spot number 10. Okay, so funny enough, we actually did a video about Jermaine Johnson just a couple days ago. And I really like him. Okay, I watched a lot of him this past season at Florida State. Absolutely burst out onto the scene. Okay, was with Georgia before Florida State, and as we all know, he transferred over. And the Noles really needed that spark, that energizer defensively, and they gave Johnson the reins. They said, "Hey, you are the guy. You are the premier pass rusher on this football team," and he did not disappoint. He played in 12 games, had 70 tackles, 11.5 sacks, 17.5 tackles for loss. I think Jermaine would come in and fit the system really well as that 4-3 defensive end. Okay, I think if we take Jermaine Johnson's tenacious play style and team that up with Robert Saleh, a player's coach, a guy who is known for getting the most out of his defensive linemen, getting the most out of his edge rushers, right, specifically back in San Francisco, I think it could be a beautiful match. What else do we know about Jermaine? We know he's met with the Jets, right, post-combine, and what's crazy is I think after that meeting, directly, like right after that meeting, he went on Twitter and started liking a bunch of tweets from Jets fans, basically hyping him up, saying, "Oh, Jermaine Johnson's going to be the pick at spot number 4. He would be an awesome Jet," things like that, which I just thought was super cool. But man, Jermaine has the size, he has the speed, he fits the system, and I do think he makes a lot of sense. Now, the big question here is pick number 4 a reach? Is it too high? Do you get the fee? Because look, there's no doubt if Jermaine Johnson is a Jet, he makes the team better. We are in a better position with Jermaine Johnson than without. That is not a question. But I think there is a line that's drawn in the sand of as far as comfort level, right? What's too high of a pick for certain prospects? Because organizations never want to reach on a guy. You want to try to maximize those picks. But when I look at Jermaine Johnson, I would be okay with selecting him with the 4th overall pick, okay? Especially if Hutchinson is gone, if these edge rushers are going off the board like crazy. I mean, all these new mock drafts that are coming out literally have edge to Jacksonville, edge to Detroit, edge to Houston, okay? So there's a chance that the first 3 picks in the draft could all be defensive ends, and in that case, Jermaine Johnson will probably not be there at spot number 10, okay? And again, according to Pauline here, if he is a lock for the top 8, because, outside of the Jets, the Giants have 2 top 10 picks as well, 5 and 7. I could very well see him being one of the picks there. Carolina, not so much. Atlanta, maybe. I think there's bigger needs. I think Atlanta's really looking at wide receiver. Maybe they go corner. Maybe they go Kyle Hamilton. But I wouldn't completely rule it out. And then Seattle, right? So I think Jermaine makes sense there. So I think if the Jets want Jermaine Johnson, they want to play it safe. They want to upgrade at the biggest position of need on the team. They want to go out and get a guy with a high upside, a guy that comes in and fits the culture, a guy coming off a great, productive, the best season of his college career. I think Johnson makes sense at spot number 4. And I think when we look at Joe Douglas's approach, right, to previous drafts and whatnot, and really how he maneuvers through free agency, he is not a type of guy to throw caution to the wind. He's going to do his due diligence. He's going to come out with a very calculated approach and really make the best decision for the team, not only just in the short term, but for the long term. I don't see him just doing something just because he wants to, okay? I think he is going to make the best decision for the football team with everybody's opinion being taken into consideration. Saleh, LaFleur, Ulbrich, right? The coaching staff, the scouts. I think the organization has to be 100% on board with the player that they selected for. Whether it's Jermaine Johnson, whether it's Ahmad Gardner, whether it's a Kayvon Thibodaux, we can't have, and we've seen this before. I remember back when Quinnen Williams was drafted in 2019, like immediately there were reports saying, oh, well, it's not everybody's on board with the pick within the organization. Like that cannot happen. And I don't think it will, because Joe Douglas and Saleh seem like they work really well, and they are kind of linked. It's not like the Jets had their head coach and we brought in a GM and they're forced to work together. Not like that. Not like that at all. Okay, so for me, I'm comfortable with Jermaine Johnson at spot number 4. I really am, and I think there's actually a really, really high chance of this happening. To be honest with you, I'll say it right here. I think the pick at 4 is either going to be Thibodaux or Jermaine Johnson. That's just my thought, just because I mean, you look at free agency, hardly any edge guys out there left. You look at a potential trade, I just can't really envision one being traded over to the team. You look at how important the position is for the style of defense. I mean, we all know it's the most, I would say it's the most important position in the scheme. You got to be able to get after the quarterback. You have to get in the backfield with your 4 down linemen. You're not sending crazy blitzes all over the place with stand-up rushers, through the middle, off the sides. It's not like that, okay? We saw what Nick Bosa did for that 49ers defense the second he got drafted, right? So I think it's important, and on top of all that, we're thin. We just don't have the depth there. Jacob Martin, Carl Lawson's coming off of a season-ending injury, didn't even play. So I think it's a tough sell to say, hey, here's the most important position on the defense, and our number 1 guy that we have to rely on didn't play a single snap last year. Okay, and he's had injury problems before in the past. Will he look like the same player? Will he get hurt again? There's a lot of question marks there. I'm hoping everything is fine with Lawson moving forward, and I do have confidence in Carl, and his, in him coming back. But I think edge might be too hard to pass up with that 4th overall pick, unless the team feels really, really good about maybe a George Karlaftis at spot number 10. But you never know. Maybe he's the pick for the New York Giants with one of their 2 top 10 picks. So anyway, let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Where do you stand on Jermaine Johnson? Are you buying into this report? Is it all draft smoke? Is it all, I mean, this is the perfect time of year for, I don't want to say false reports, but teams are putting out feelers and, fake stories and stuff like that, seeing who bites, because it's smokescreen season at the end of the day. So thanks so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts. And as always, go Jets.